The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Well, if you thought it was just a one-and-done deal with Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo, you'd be wrong. So this little piece of information just came out today, over on Esquire.com. Alden Ehrenreich will return as Han Solo after Solo. The actor tells Esquire he signed up for more movies. Though there have been rumors throughout the recent months, it still hasn't been confirmed whether or not Alden Ehrenreich will be returning to play the iconic character Han Solo after the upcoming standalone Star Wars movie next month. In an interview for Esquire's latest cover story, the actor let it slip that he actually signed up for 3 movies, as Alex Papademos writes. He knows what he's getting into. It's a deeper commitment than just one movie. Even Ford couldn't quit after just one. I asked Ehrenreich how many he signed up for. 3, he says, then flinches, understanding he may just created a disturbance in the Force. I don't know if that's officially, public, but yeah. Anyway, between auditions for Solo, Ehrenreich took a trip out to Death Valley. I stayed in, like a high-end teepee, which you can rent out there, he says. I'm making myself sound more rugged than I actually am. I'm also getting green juices delivered to the teepee. Which shows Lucasfilm is certainly confident in his performance in Solo, along with the movie's quality as a whole, if it's good enough to support 2 sequels. Okay, Matt Miller, you shill son of a bitch. Okay, that's a little harsh, I apologize. But okay, Matt Miller, you PR-friendly writer from Esquire. That doesn't mean anything, alright? You are reading way too much into this. Disney is praying that the public like this shit. We haven't seen it yet, and the buzz is not too positive. Right now, the world is focused on the Avengers Infinity War, and then Deadpool, and then Solo. And you know Deadpool's gonna blow it out of the water, and probably steal a lot of thunder from this Solo film, so let's just take it back. Let's not read into it. Lucasfilm is certainly confident with his performance. No, Lucasfilm is not. They hired that man an acting coach. How many big budget blockbusters have an acting coach on set for their lead because he sucks? All this after the directors were fired. There's so much drama on Solo that they're trying to just brush under the fucking carpet because, oh hey, he might be doing more, that's an indicator of quality. No, it's not. How many other actors were signed up for 3 films that never got made? Just off the top of my head, Andrew Garfield was signed on for The Amazing Spider-Man 3, and look what happened there. We have Tom Holland as Spider-Man now. Now, I'm not insinuating or even trying to say that they're going to make a Solo movie without Alden Ehrenreich. I'm just going to flat out guess that they're not going to make another Solo movie if this one is the dumpster fire we all think it is. So here comes the big question. Are the critics going to play ball this time? Because you know as well as I know that there's a guy out there on the internet that tabulated the actual scores on Rotten Tomatoes, and The Last Jedi's sitting at about a 24% as opposed to a 48%. We already know that it has been confirmed that it weren't trolls that altered the scores, or just angry fans. So let's stop making excuses for these movies and let's think about it for a moment. If people hate The Last Jedi, and Solo is going to have backlash from that, and it fails to perform, why are they going to pump in more money to make another Han Solo movie? Unless they're so ideologically focused, like they seem to be even with Solo, now we have an SJW robot, that's the only reason they would make these films going forward, because toy sales are down. It just came out this week that Hasbro lost 21% in sales, and they're blaming part of that on Toys R Us, but when I put out the video earlier about them losing 21% in sales, it seemed to focus mostly on their movie franchises and properties. We know that Hasbro's hurting, especially in that toy department from Star Wars. So if the Star Wars toys are down, and The Last Jedi made $750 million less, and Solo has an all-time low interest approval rating, and now we got Deadpool coming out that's going to probably blow it out of the box office, it's kind of hard to think that they're really making more Solo movies. He's only signed on just in case. You know, there's probably a writer in his contract, you know, if we don't make a movie, you will be released, blah, 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 but you're hereby locked in for X amount of pictures if we choose to make them. So let's calm down there, Matt Miller of Esquire, before we go saying, oh, it's an indicator of the quality. That being said, though, I hope they don't make more of these. Part of me wanted them to make one that starts in the middle of this Han Solo epic where he's already Han Solo, because I really don't want to watch, controversial opinion, I don't like Daniel Craig as James Bond. He's tied for the worst, and I don't like Casino Royale. Why? Because the first half is a Jason Bourne movie masquerading as a James Bond film. And then the second half, you get to the classic Bond stuff. You finally get to see the tuxedo and the guns and the gadgets and the casinos and the women and all the fun stuff that you want to see in a Bond flick. You have to wait an hour. In this movie, you don't even get that Han Solo. You gotta watch him learn how he gets his pistol. You gotta watch him be scorned by a woman and be betrayed, and how he gets the Millennium Falcon and how he gets Chewbacca and all this shit. Things just can't be there. That's why Star Wars works. Certain things are just there. We didn't really need to know why Han and Chewie were partners. They just were. We didn't need to know where the gun came from. He just always had it. You see, they're putting too much emphasis on the wrong things with these prequel movies. And I don't like that they do these anymore. If anything, just show us other adventures with the characters. And that would probably be what parts 2 and 3 would be. And you know the way Disney operates, that part 3 would end with Han Solo landing on Tatooine to go to the Mos Eisley Cantina, because we can't have a minute between each movie not explained in great detail. I don't want these movies to get made. I don't even want this one to get made, if I'm being honest. They've ruined Han Solo to a point where it's like, he's not that cool anymore. You watched him become this great hero in the first 3 films, only to be reduced to nothing over, oh, my son ran off, so I'm a shitty father. There are so many problems with the way these movies are being made, and Lucasfilm is the problem. Like, there was an article that came out that said that Lucasfilm is actively looking for more women to work at ILM. Who gives a shit if it's a man or a woman, white or black, American, Indian? It doesn't matter who animates the CGI in these films. It's all about who does the best work. Because when I go to a movie, I don't want to go, Han Solo looked kind of rubbery in this shot, but that's okay because a black woman made it. Or Spider-Man in this shot looked kind of shitty because this dude from the south side of Chicago, whose parents are immigrants from Poland, made the shot. Like, I don't care about the story of the people behind the fucking movie. Like, that's why I don't watch reality shows. Besides them being a waste of time, I don't care about why so-and-so is cooking for Gordon Ramsay or who's at home waiting on you. I don't give a shit. I always want to watch you fucking make food in an exciting way. I don't care about the story behind the story. I don't give a shit who makes these fucking movies as long as they're the best. And you know what? Lucasfilm doesn't hire the best. They hire fucking people for their little blurbs in magazines like, oh, the most diverse cast to ever produce a Star Wars film. No one gives a shit. Critically and by the fans, Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie. There's one black character on screen, and you know what? Empire Strikes Back has millions of black fans. No one gives a shit if Lando's the only brother in the movie. Nobody gives a shit in A New Hope that there's the only black guy in the movie is the one that walks behind them in the cantina, or on the way to the cantina, excuse me. My point is, no one gives a shit about this stuff. Real people don't give a shit about this stuff. The weirdos out in Hollywood care. The dickheads that write these articles care. The people that think they're better than all of us care about this weird forced diversity. I mean, I had the pleasure, the displeasure of seeing an article titled, Rose Tico is the most important Star Wars character. My point is, these people that are praising the diversity, the ones that are so excited, and they go out on their platforms, their blogs, their Twitter accounts, all these other things, and talk down to us, people that are like, I don't care, I just want a good story, The Last Jedi sucked for X, Y, and Z. Oh, you're a sexist. Oh, you're a racist. Nobody's a fucking sexist or racist because of their dislike for Star Wars. Maybe they're a piece of shit in real life, but the reason they don't like these films has nothing to do with the race or color or creed or gender of anybody in the fucking movies. We want the best of the best. And a company like Disney has the resources to hire the best of the best. There is no reason why, at this point in time, in 2018, that we should settle for crappy CGI. Just because they want more women at ILM to have that on a website for a day and get a little bit of positive attention in the 24-hour news cycle. No. That's why when I watched The Last Jedi, there were scenes that were like, the CGI doesn't look too good here. Now, if those people that they hire are the most qualified and they happen to be a woman or black or from any other part of the world, cool, awesome, don't really care. But for them to be hired because of who they are and not because of their talent is bullshit. Han Solo and Episode 9 and all these other Star Wars movies aren't really going to be used as vessels to further Star Wars. You know what? Even to sell merchandise, which is more pure than the shit that they're pulling today at Disney. Like, I am not in love with the prequels. The original trilogy, then the prequels, then Rogue One, then the sequels, in my opinion. But I'm okay with you putting in something to sell a toy. I'm not okay with you putting in a character to be intentionally lame, like Rose Tico. I'm not okay with that. To sell a toy, cool, I get it. To push a weird agenda that doesn't appeal to anyone and to derail your movie and to ruin your characters for that? No. No. Like, I've never really read too much into the whole Iraqi war part of the prequels because I really have only watched those I can count the amount of times I've watched Episode 2 on one hand. Same with Episode 3, and maybe I've seen Episode 1 a few too many times, because it's one of those movies as a kid, I watched it, I didn't like it, I asked for it on videotape, I got it, I watched it, and it took me a little bit to determine if I liked it or didn't, and I ended up on not liking it. So much that I never owned any of the prequel films on DVD. I went from having the original trilogy on VHS to DVD to Blu-ray, and the only reason I have the prequels on Blu-ray is because it came in the saga set because I wanted all the special features. Like, I know it sounds really shitty, but A Quest for Money, in certain regards, is more noble and more transparent than this weird social engineering that they're trying with Star Wars. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And that's all you get from modern day Star Wars. And people are smart. Like, you people out there are smart enough to see this. I don't give a shit about this weird social engineering. Give me the best of the best stories. Even Marvel's starting to dip their toe into that. And I'll tell you, I'll be the first one out. I'll be the first one to complain about it. I ain't putting up with that shit from any form of entertainment. These people that are waking up to it just aren't going to go support Solo. That's why, well, that's not the only reason why. But Star Wars is in the place it is because of stupid decisions from Kathleen Kennedy and everyone below her, and everyone above her that's allowed her to make these stupid things. The video game was a nightmare. The Last Jedi doesn't even have a positive buzz about it. It's the most negative buzz of any Star Wars film. It's the lowest ranked by the fans, and the fans are the ones that matter, because you know what? A critic is afraid to give the score of 3 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 if they hated the movie. Oh, I don't want to lose my privileges at Disney parties. Oh, Disney's the biggest game in town. I don't want to be on their shit list. So from that aspect, you get it. But don't listen to their opinions on the films. You need to listen to somebody that you agree with that doesn't have an agenda. You can pick that person for yourself, but it seems like those people will give you the most honest opinion because they have nothing to lose or to gain from praising or shitting on a film. If they liked it, great. If they didn't like it, fine. If they give good reasons for it either way, that's even better. That's what a good reviewer does. Solo, I don't trust anything that's going to be said about it until I see it myself. I'm a big Han Solo fan. Yes, I'll be disappointed with a lot of stuff. Is there a way for me to not be disappointed in this film? Well, if Lando's gay or bisexual or anything that changes his character, I'm not for it. I'm not for it at all. I don't care if it's 2018. Oh, you gotta be more understanding. No, not everyone's bisexual or gay or whatever. There are straight people, there are gay people, there are bisexual people, and that is fine. The world can be the way it is. People can be happy with whatever decisions they make. But Lando, a fictional character, has been established as a straight guy. Don't go and change it. Don't go back and make Lando a white dude. Don't go change anything about the characters. Just have either logical evolutions or logical de-evolutions in terms of where they would be 10, 15 years prior. Don't change anything else to make the film more modern, to get write-ups in fucking Esquire magazine about the film. Don't worry about making these weird people feel good. Those aren't your audience. Those aren't... The thing is, you're targeting them as your audience, and they ain't buying your shit. The movie sales are down comparatively between episodes 7 and 8. Solo probably isn't going to do the Rogue One numbers. The toys are a fucking disaster. All the merchandise is a disaster. Star Wars has never been in such a murky place. I'm torn. On one hand, like I said, if Lando's gay, it's just not acceptable. Another thing they might do to ruin it is if they make Han Solo weak. I don't want him to be like some pussified dude that because he gets scorned by Emilia Clarke, then he becomes the Han Solo. Like, that just takes away everything good about Han Solo. Like, Han Solo is such an iconic character that you really can't play around with him in that many ways and make him good. Like James Bond, he exists in a box. You don't take him out of the box, or else you have Ethan Hunt or Jason Bourne or other characters. What works with James Bond is you take that character in the box and you put that box in the modern setting. And you let the audience see how that classic character operates in a modern setting, and it creates an interesting dynamic. You could do it in a humorous manner like you do with Austin Powers, Frozen in the 60s, Thawed in the 90s. Look at all the jokes that came from it. Or you can take it as a serious approach, a less literal approach. I'm not saying you actually have James Bond, slapping women and wearing those really weird knit ties, even though I'm a fan of the knit ties. My point is, though, you keep him as the same character. You don't change him to appease a small minority group. So Han Solo, they shouldn't do that. Now, you can't fuck up Chewbacca. He doesn't speak English. His bandoleer's all right, whatever. Chewbacca is safe. You can't ruin that. And if you make him a sexual being, that's weird. Like, he has a family in the holiday special, and he has a kid. And that's all you really need to know. You don't need to see Chewbacca be affectionate. You don't need to see Chewbacca do all this extra shit. It's kind of weird to try to turn a Wookiee into that. Things they could do to make me like this movie. Well, I have a feeling that the outer exterior of the Millennium Falcon is going to be blown off as like a cheap cover from Lando. Like, Lando makes it look cool, and then it gets destroyed in the movie, so by the end it's going to look like the Millennium Falcon we all know in a very humorous way. I am worried about the overt humor in this film. Star Wars has humor, but Star Wars is not what I consider a comedy. A lot of Marvel movies have gone that route, especially Iron Man 3. The first Iron Man had a lot of humor and humorous moments, but when it got serious, it got serious. Iron Man 2 and 3 and many other Marvel movies have the distinct honor, and I'm using that sarcastically, of taking a really good, awesome moment that's like epic, and then they ruin it by putting a joke in it, like Thor Ragnarok. I don't even want to watch some of these movies because of the crap they pull. Like, I enjoy the first time experience, but in the back of my mind, I know it doesn't work. I think the best types of movies that work are the ones that, not necessarily movie to tears, but like, they're emotional in a way that you're like, wow, like I went on a journey with a character. Because Marvel doesn't think about this, but jokes have diminishing return. There are some movies that are always going to be funny, but think of it like this, they're not as funny as the first time you saw them. Dumb and Dumber is a great comedy classic, and I loved it, and I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen as a kid. But as you watch it constantly, you know where the beats of humor are, you laugh, you chuckle, blah blah blah, but it doesn't catch you off guard and make you laugh like that. When you get something as empowering as like the end of the Death Star battle, or Spider-Man finally overcomes Dr. Octopus and he has that speech about, I will not die a monster and all that stuff, that's just like boom, it hits you in the chest. And it hits you on so many levels that whenever you come back to it in your life experiences are parallel to that, and then you're just like, wow, okay, cool, that was more powerful than I remember. Jokes, for me at least, don't work the same way. It's like if I like it and the joke hits from the first time, I'm cracking up. But try listening to the same stand-up like 10 times. You laugh at less bits, certain parts become funnier over time, but it's never as good as that first time. Like, I remember the first time I saw Step Brothers. I just remember people in my dorm were like, dude, are you okay? I was laughing so much. But then as I watched it 100 other times, it's just enjoyable, but not that. So I apologize for that rant about humor. There you go. Deep down in my heart, I'd like this movie to be awesome. Do I think it will be? No, not at all. It's Disney Star Wars. What is there to get excited over? So, yeah, Matt Miller, I guess I'm going to add you to our shill list of critics. Why? Because you're reading too much into this and trying to garner a lot of positivity. And positivity is great when it's warranted and reasonable. And your ass is not reasonable. You are on this weird, oh my god, that means this and that. It's like when people saw the Solo trailer and there was a rock in it and they thought it was Boba Fett's Slave One. It's like, Star Wars fans, calm down, take a step back. More does not equal better. We have 5 Star Wars movies from Disney. Star Wars would be a lot better without any of them. So that's it for this impromptu rant. I apologize. I did not intend to make this video. I'm still making the other one, and I thought, this seems relevant. This seems important. I kind of gotta get it out there, because fuck this movie. Seriously. Ugh. So thank you to everyone who's watched this video. I greatly appreciate it. As always, tell me what you think down in the comments section below. And if the comments aren't enough, head on over to our Facebook page. We got about 1,000 people, and now that the channel has grown like 500 subscribers in the last day or two, we got a lot more. So go over there, hang out with the fans, talk, make some friends, interact with people. That's what World Class Bullshitters is all about. Discussing entertainment in a different manner and bringing people together. If you're a super fan of this channel, and if you could do it, check out our Patreon page. $1 a month goes a long way. $5 a month, which is only 17 cents a day, which isn't even cheese on your Whopper, goes even further. But if you can't afford it, not a problem. Just watch our videos and tell everyone about us. Also, this video was brought to you by Aaron Clary, writer of The Curse of the High IQ. Aaron has told us about the bump in sales with his sponsorship with World Class Bullshitters, and if you'd like to advertise with World Class Bullshitters, send us an email, worldclassbs@mail.com. The best mail, you know the rest. I'll be back later today with the video I originally intended to put out, so I hope you enjoyed this one, and tell me what you think about Solo. Do you think there's going to be more? I don't think so. But until next time,